This is constantly, we're going to go through these, so you can realize this whole idea of the hiddenness of God, he's not hidden at all, and Christians know it, because constantly he's working on us while we're alive. Why do you think he's doing it? Why does he do that?
Conforming us to his image.
Why?
Because he loves us and he knows what's best for us.
Imagine if a wife tried that. Honey, I just want you to know the reason I have a list of 23 things that I'm constantly putting in your face is because I love you so much and I just want to make you a better person. She's over there laughing.
Is that bad?
Well, what would the husband probably say to the wife?
Let me make my own list.
I got a list of 25,
Yeah.
right? That's probably what would happen,
It's all about opinion.
right? Why is it that way, though, in a marriage? Why do we do that?
Because you're both imperfect.
Because we're both sinners. I don't think people understand. In marriage, it's two sinners living together. It's horrible. You have to decide. Without Jesus Christ, this is where we're going to go in your wedding, right? Without Jesus Christ, you don't have a chance without him, because he's different. When he's pointing things out about you that he wants to conform you, we can't look at him and go, but you're a sinner too. We can't do that. Because we know. Because we're Christian and we know who he really is. It's a different world. But he doesn't convict us. He wants to heal us. He's more than someone who shows us those things in our life. He wants to actually be the one to fix it. He doesn't want you to do that. That would be Mormonism, or that would be Jehovah's Witness, or that would be Islam, right? God's literally in your life saying, I'm showing you these things so you can give them to me. I want to take them for you. And we're like, I don't want to give them to you. I kind of like getting mad at my wife. You know, it makes me feel good. I like not forgiving sometimes. You know why? Because I'll get my way. If I pout, I know she's going to say, honey, what's wrong, right? So we literally hold back these things. This is why we study Jesus Christ.
So you use that term, give this to God. I hear Christians use that term all the time. What exactly does that mean?
When you look in the Bible and God says, I hate to tell you this, you're a sheep. I just want you to understand, right? You're not a Titan. You're not a Bronco. You're not a tiger. You're a sheep. What does it mean to be a sheep?
You're helpless. You need a shepherd.
You're not only helpless, if someone tries to attack you, you can't even defend yourself.
Yeah. You fall on your back. You can't.
You're totally useless. So literally, God, of all the animals, calls us this one. Now, how many shepherds with their sheep look at their sheep and go, good luck out there today. The Chiefs are on. I'm watching the game. If someone comes at you, just bleep real loud, I'm not going to run it, right? What does a shepherd do? The literal shepherd keeps his eyes fixed on the sheep, and he's always with the sheep. So what he's trying to get the sheep to understand, if they don't give themselves to him, they have no defense, they have no chance for nourishment, they can't thrive. Their complete existence relies on a shepherd. And you ever, I talked about this once before, do you know what the hook on the end of the shepherd's staff is for?
You grab the neck of the sheep. Is it to grab the neck of the sheep? Kind of like.
They use it for two things. If a sheep gets in a situation like a thicket or something, they can hook and pull it out. But if there's a sheep that doesn't listen, and it's negligent and stubborn and won't listen to the shepherd puts it around one of the legs and breaks the leg. Breaks the leg of the sheep. With a broken leg, can the sheep wander anymore?
Nope. That's too carried.
Guess who carries the sheep until it heals?
Shepherd.
The shepherd. So when the sheep does that, this is the suffering it puts on a sheep, and the sheep knows that the only chance for healing is if the shepherd carries the sheep, and the shepherd keeps the sheep with them, and afterwards the sheep now has learned. This is, Austin, what we're talking about. If you read the Bible, you're not going to find many verses that says, aren't we awesome? We're just the most amazing creation. God, you are so lucky to have us. He's going to say to you constantly, The only value you have is in my eyes. Besides what I think, you have like zero value and you know it. You look at Muhammad Ali, he's standing over Sonny Liston in that famous picture. Right before he dies, what does he look like? Dementia, completely broken down. This is what happens. We grow old, we wear out. Our all hope is in the shepherd.
Super fast. I love what it says in 1 Peter 5:7 to cast or to give our cares to the Lord. So I think that's kind of like a scriptural representation of what he's talking about.
Yeah, there's a song I played in here a few weeks ago by Derek Hayes that talks about anyone who casts their debts on him, he must set them free. He must. Why must Jesus Christ set you free if you cast your cares and your sins and debts on him? Why? Because he gave his word. Guys, marriage is about standing in front of people and giving your word, your name, who you are as the character of your person. If you're honest and you're up there and you didn't really want to get married, what you should say is, well, in sickness and in health, maybe. For better or worse, I don't know. We'll see. If things get worse, I might want out, right? The reason someone has to say these kind of things is because they're making a personal vow in front of God for who they are, their character. And this is what Jesus Christ does. He shows you his character in that when he says something, take it to the bank. You trust him and put your sins on him, he pays for them. Boom. That's why he said it's finished.
So for the question it was less of a question of should we rely on God. It was whenever someone says to put your trouble, like what was the phrase that you used? You should turn this over to God. How does one do that? Not should they, how?
This is not that hard. It's just when you get older, you don't do it. It's just weird, right? Because you realize, hey, if I'm going to get a paycheck at work, I can't turn it over to my boss. I mean, I've got to do stuff, right? That old adage that says, the father's in the swimming pool, the child has never jumped in before, the child is on the edge of the water, scared to death of water. The father is there in the water with his hands outraised. What is the father telling his child?
I got you.
I got you. I got you. And the child, because it's a child, usually will jump in. If the child doesn't, what does the father do? He keeps trying. Day after day, week after, and finally at some point, the child will trust the dad. Now, Jesus, when he talks about us, he says we should be as little children. What he's saying is, I don't want you to be childish. I want you to be childlike. Most Christians are childish, right? I'm going to memorize these 5 steps, and it's going to help me to draw closer to God. And God's like, what are you doing? I'm right here. What I need you to do is study, look for me, pray to me, trust me with your life.